Hello, everybody. This is
Hello.
Eleni and Marcus for Extraordinary Conversations with Ordinary
Yes.
People.
Yes. Great to be here. Great to be here. And this week's an exciting week to talk about. Firstly, it's our 13th episode, which is kind of auspicious because 13 is a very special number. So that's exciting. But what's
Yeah.
more exciting is a journey you've been on, which I think we should talk about today. And we purposely haven't even spoken about it yet. So I'm going to hear it for the first time that everyone else is, which is kind of fun. And so why don't you, let's do a little intro into it so that people
Okay.
know what we're talking about. And then,
All right. So I've already spoken about so far. So prior to this experience, I did 4 plant medicine experiences. The first 2 were psilocybin. The second 2 were San Pedro, and they were all life-changing. And then I was called to do DMT, and otherwise known as toad, otherwise known as the God molecule.
Yeah.
And I basically asked my shaman, because my shaman himself doesn't do this one.
Right.
And so I asked him, where could I do it? And he said, well, do you want to go to Australia's best? And I said, yes, I want to go to Australia's
Absolutely.
best.
Yeah. Totally.
And so Australia's best, located on the other side of Australia. I won't say where.
Yeah.
But it was, so this particular shaman, for those of you who don't know where this is derived from, this is actually derived from toads. So he spent 4 years in Mexico taking the serum from toads. He said in a very humanitarian type of way. He didn't harm the toads. And what this serum does is, what this serum does is actually, and that's why it's called the God molecule, is basically takes you straight to source. And scientifically, what scientists have found is that it emulates a near-death experience. So in terms of what actually happens to the body and the mind when all of that happens. And so interestingly, I didn't want to, I was keen to go with somebody else because it's like in the bush where this place is located. And I thought taking an Uber there was going to be quite weird. And as it turned out, the universe basically gave me somebody else where I hadn't even met before, another lady who in the middle of another conversation, it just came to me to say that I'll be there soon because she lives there.
Right.
And she said, I'm doing it. So I said, okay. Great. Can you pick me up? Take me.
Nice.
And then she brought a friend. And the interesting thing about it is all 3 of us are very different, Marcus. So I've had plant medicine 4 times before.
Yeah.
The other lady has done everything in terms of experimentation, but not under the ceremony kind of, not with the shaman. And the other lady, the third lady, is a psychologist, and she hadn't even drunk a glass of alcohol in her life.
Oh my Lord.
Or had a cigarette, or had anything that was in any bit mind altering. Or so she went.
That's a big one. That's from 0 to 1,000 in. Yeah. Oh no.
Because this is really like, in terms of plant medicines, this is what they call like the cherry on the top. It's like, it's almost like so that's the background of it. So the 3 of us went in the Australian bush. This very experienced shaman, and when we got there, it was conducted outdoors. So it was lots of, it was a huge property, massive property. And it was conducted outdoors. And first of all, we set our intentions and all the rest of it. And then he took us through some breathwork practices in terms of breathing. Because the way that this particular medicine is undertaken is different to the other ones I've had. The other ones, you drank it. This one, you basically inhale it. So it's through a glass pipe. And it was interesting because I thought, am I going to be able to do it? Because I can't do things like that, like inhale from a glass. But my God,
you did.
it was
And
well,
so what happened? How did it go? And yeah,
so the first one is like basically at the end of the inhalation, like that's it. Like there is no gap in time. There is no second before something hits. It's everything just starts to
instant.
collapse.
Yeah.
It's like instant. And so as soon as I inhaled, I was sitting up, and then it was the most frightening experience of my life.
Right. Yeah.
I was terrified. It was like so you know the mosaics?
Yeah.
You know, like glass put together.
Yeah.
My body was like a mosaic, and it just
shattered, almost like shattered,
it
sort
shattered.
of. Yeah.
And then everything around me shattered. And then I went into this spinning vortex kind of thing. And when I say I went into this spinning vortex, like I don't know where I was, but it was like this spinning, and it was all I could think about was, because, you know, the whole thing about from everything I'd read and I knew and he spoke about was, 2 to 3 times to do this, like in the course of this day. And I was just thinking, I'm not doing this like this.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
you know, like
just not doing it. Yeah.
This is really frightening. But what I didn't say, what happened before, the lady that had no experience, you know, with anything.
Yeah.
She said she wanted to go first because if she saw us react in a funny way, she wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So we all had our different spaces on the land, and she did it first. And as soon as she did it, and she was quite a distance away.
Right.
I saw her yell, "No!"
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And me and the other girl looking at each other going,
yeah.
because you could hear the terror. It was like pure terror. And it was just like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm here. Like it took me, it was quite an effort to get there because I'd missed my first flight, and I ended up going to it. I had to go to another city to go to another city to go there. Like,
so it was a journey. It was a full journey. Yeah.
And I know now why all those things happened the day before, because the day before was an absolute stress. And that morning, just getting there. I was supposed to get there the day before, and I only got there that morning, and it was all these kind of things that happened. Yeah. And anyway, so when that happened with me, it was pure terror, Marcus. It was like, I am so terrified. I'm so terrified. And then it was basically just, when I finally got my breath back, it was like, like a nausea and, oh my God, what just happened? Like, you can't explain this experience. It's such a, like, if you can imagine you turning into a mosaic and shattering. It's like, what is that? You know, how can you put...
So how long did that last for?
In the linear time frame?
Linear time frame.
It lasted about 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
And then it takes about a half an hour after that before you can actually, there's grass here.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, back in this time zone, or this dimension. Yeah. Back
on this time zone. And I thought, well, that's too frightening. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not like it was just very, very
wasn't a pleasant journey like some of the other plant medicine.
So that was the first thing. So I said I wasn't going to do it again.
Of course.
But then I see, because we all had it in turns, because he would go from one person to the next person to the next person, you know, and he'd be with us whilst we're going through it. But then when we're consolidating, you know, he'd go to the next person when we're okay. You know. And then he went to back to her, and then I saw her doing it again. And I thought,
Lord.
Well, if she's doing it again.
You can do it for sure.
Because I didn't yell or anything. Like, I was just trying to breathe through it, just to survive the experience. So the second time, apparently the first one was very mild.
Right. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
And the second time you said, I think you can do bigger. Because when he asked me what my intention was at the beginning, what I said my intention was to step into the highest expression of me.
Okay.
That was my intention.
Yeah, yeah.
Whilst that's what I want to do more than anything in the world, is to step into the highest expression of me.
Yes.
Of my essence, of my soul. And so he said, if I know what you want, and given you've already done 4 before this, I think you're ready for a bigger one, which is going to take you where you need to go.
Wow.
So I did. I said, okay,
Yes.
surrender.
Brave.
Surrender
Yes.
to this craziness.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did it the second time, and the first bit was shorter and not as fearful, not as terrifying.
Okay. Yeah.
And then when I lay down, oh my God, Marcus, I have never experienced anything like this in my wildest dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
I shot through.
Right.
And the heavens opened.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have never experienced that kind of power in my life. So with the other plant medicine experiences, it was very much love.
Yes.
It was overpowering, like, which stayed with me for so long, like that feeling of unconditional love. This was power.
Yeah. Right.
So I felt myself roaring. It was like,
yeah.
it was like I was breathing for the first time. Like my soul was like came out of my body. And it was like, and then I realized that I am everything, and everything is me.
Yeah.
And everything we think and do is so small.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's like the power inside of us is so, you can't even imagine it. Like, you think you're powerful. Yeah. Oh, I know what power is. You don't know what power is. It's like the feeling of the whole universe was just like, I was there. Like it was just, I just kept saying, thank you that I've had this opportunity to see this, to be here, to be there. And I kept saying this over and over again. It's all bullshit. Like, everything else is bullshit. Everything else is bullshit. Every single thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because this is the vastness of everything. And I was just glowing, and just this, I can't, it's one of those things that's very difficult to explain.
Yeah.
But interestingly, I ended up having one more, because you said it's nice to just have a mild one to finish, like later on, just to keep glowing in it and keep being part of it. But interestingly, in terms of our 3 experiences, so I broke through and was there.
Yeah.
The one that had experience with all these kind of psychedelics, but never with the shaman, she saw the bliss but couldn't get to it.
Okay.
And the third one, who had never done anything, she was, all 3 of her times, it was just fear that was coming and anger that was coming. She couldn't get beyond the layers.
Yes.
And I know that she's, thank goodness, at this point, and the next day was quite horrific for her too.
Oh, really?
It's all coming out. All the emotions were coming out that she had suppressed, because she's not someone who has ever dealt with this sort of stuff before.
Right.
And luckily, she's now saying that she can, like, she can feel it's coming out, and it is for her good.
Right.
But she had quite, I would not recommend this. I just want to say this to anybody. To anybody, and it's not something I would say you need to go do this. Like, no way. It has to be like a really strong calling, like
totally.
And it has to be with a trained shaman.
Yeah,
can't be by yourself, because I reckon that it's the kind of thing that could give you a psychotic.
Oh, without a doubt, I'm sure it could. Yeah,
it could be devastating if you're not taken care of.
Yeah, totally.
Because and that's why I would never, seeing what happened to her, I would never recommend it to anybody, because because I've done a lot of healing.
You've done a lot of the work.
The previous ones I really felt set me up for it, because
definitely
there was so much purging of emotions.
Yes.
previous ones that I was ready for it. If I hadn't done those purging of emotions, I don't wish to have been stuck in that fear space, you know, the fear space and the anger space.
Yes.
So I should have said that right at the beginning. So I do not recommend
No,
that anybody.
not at all.
It was really terrifying.
Yeah.
Like nothing has compared to this kind of terror.
Yeah.
At the same time, nothing has compared to this type of bliss.
Yeah, right. Wow. That's what a journey. And how are you feeling now?
Well, what I have done, the difference between the other plant medicines and this one is that with the other ones, even weeks after, you're still in that state.
Right.
Almost like you're in this bubble of bliss. With this one, which is how near-death experiences have been reported, as easy as it comes is as easy as it goes. And so it's your job, which I was told by the shaman, you have to do work to integrate it. Otherwise, it's just something you've experienced.
Right.
So every single day since then, what I have done is my absolute priority is breath work and meditation in the morning. Breath work and meditation to retain basically the knowingness of my strength and my power. To retain that because otherwise it's just something you've been a part of and then you're gone. Like it goes very quickly. It doesn't stay unless you work it. But interestingly, the day after I had it was my first, I can honestly say my first real meditation. Because I've been struggling with meditation for years.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the day after, I did a 90-minute session where I did not move, and I could have gone on for hours, it felt like.
Yeah.
With no thoughts, and like I've never had that before. So it's I really feel like that's the gift I've got as well, is the ability to now meditate, which always eluded me with my monkey brain.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So
what an amazing journey.
I guess the number one learning is the strength is so you can't even put it in words, like how powerful we all are. The thing is, I saw how powerful and felt how powerful I was, but this is power that we all have.
Yes.
The plant medicine doesn't give you the power. It just reveals the power to you.
That's right. You already have it. It's already with you, always. Yeah.
We all have this, and yet we think we're so small. Like
kind of interesting that this would happen now, because we've been doing a lot of dragon energy work in my other groups. And that's like not a similar process, obviously, but it's about power, right? Dragon energy is all about using your innate power, and the dragon is the sort of is the archetype that holds that power. You know, and through the years we've been told dragons are bad and they're evil and they, you know, blah blah blah, but they're not actually. They're the power center for us from a visualization and the activation point of view. So it's kind of interesting that a lot of that's been coming up lately.
Yeah, it is interesting because like it's the love is what I experienced first, but now is the power.
The power. That's exactly right.
That we hold makes us unfuckable.
Yeah, totally. And I think this is where the spirituality sort of movement sort of misses it a bit, because it often does the love bit, which is, you know, we love everything and love everyone and that's great and you know, important. But the thing that gets stuff done and gets us really out there and sharing our stuff and is power, right? Dragon, and we become, like you said, unbrewable, unfuckable, and it's just like, you know, dragon energy holds that. So kind of interesting. A lot of that energy has been coming up lately.
It's interesting because I didn't know that. Like I thought, I know this is the God molecule and it'll just be more that love energy.
Yeah.
I didn't know or had read about that. For me, it was like this, like the roar that came out of me and that kept roaring was like, my God.
Yeah.
The roar, like that's inside us.
That's so good. So I think that's something to remember, isn't it, from this episode, is that the power we have within us, as individuals and as, you know, a collective group. Just beautiful, amazing, incredible power to create, power to stand in your own self, power, I don't know, how to do what, everything.
I got full shivers. And the thing is, Marcus, those, you know, the forces that be try and, well, this is what they've done for thousands of years, is get us disconnected from our power.
Totally.
That we can stay in fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's kind of interesting that you went through terror and fear to get to it. And so therefore, and that other lady didn't get through the fear, therefore she got caught. And I think that's a really interesting image of how things have been sort of set up. If you can keep people in that fear space, then they won't try and break through, because the power's on the other side of that, obviously, right? Through your experience anyway. And so if we can keep that fear, then people keep running away from it, right?
Such a good analogy, because
isn't it? It's interesting.
Because it's like you don't want to be in it. It's really scary.
Yeah, you want to run away.
Just hang on.
Yes.
Hang on, because on the other side,
is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah.
On the other side is everything. So I keep hanging on.
Kind of interesting.
It's so terrifying. We know it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Have the faith, trust, hang on, and it's just like you break through to this unimaginable force within you that you have. It's already
already there. Absolutely. You are already it.
So I feel after that experience, it feels to me like I feel like I'm done with plant medicine. Like it almost feels it feels to me like I've done, not like I'm done as in ascended. That's not what I mean. No. I mean, I'm done in terms of that modality.
Well, that methodology of acting, finding it or connecting with it.
I feel like it's done what it needed to do.
Yeah.
That's like for the first time, I feel that's complete.
Yes.
Whereas the other one, it was like, I don't know, maybe. And I don't know, maybe in a year's time, or there's another.
Who knows, right?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But at this point, it feels like, I think that's done. I think it's served its purpose of showing me and revealing to me all that is.
Yeah. And
now it's up to me. Like that's not going to do any. It feels like that's not going to do any more revealing. Like now it's
up to you now. Yeah. That's great. Wow. Whew. That's fantastic. I think I need to have a rest now after hearing all about that. So, so big and beautiful and amazing. Yeah.
And I love how, it's all aligned with what you're doing and you're teaching people at the moment. Yeah,
it's kind of bizarre and weird that you talk about that. And again, we hadn't spoken about this until we hit go, which I think is, it's been good. But that's not dissimilar sort of concept or idea, and just different ways to activate it,
Exactly.
And there's lots of different roads to get to this place.
There is no
whatever calls you, right? It's whatever calls you. And I think your message is correct. This is not something you didn't suggest anyone does. This is a calling. You have to be called.
This one. Especially this one. It's like, no, I could not suggest somebody go through that fear, irrespective of what was on the other side, because that is not my, not where, it's not my thing at all. But for those people who are interested in,
who are called,
who are called, sure, but also those people who are interested in working with your kind of methodology, Marcus, do you want to say how they can connect in with you?
Well, they can just connect in at Heart of the Matrix and Facebook group. And we're running sort of live experiences every week, just around all sorts of concepts like this. Really activating who you truly are is really the sort of theme of them all. And it just happens this week has been all about dragon energy this week and last week. And so, which is kind of fun.
Awesome. So if you want to connect in with Marcus, and he's doing some incredible, powerful, activating work with his community in the Heart of the Matrix on Facebook.
Yeah, thank you.
These are the extraordinary conversations with ordinary people.
Exactly.
I mean, who would know? Like, if you told me 5 years ago that I was going to smoke a toad serum that was extracted from Mexico in a city across Australia, I'd be like, in the bush.
No.
Oh, no.
You never would have dreamt it.
Never would have
And
dreamt.
here you are.
And here we are. So
Fantastic.
yeah, so if you
Well
want to
done.
hang on and find out about the integrations and how we're going, please subscribe
Absolutely.
and this channel and for Eleni Heart Leader YouTube. And yeah, we'll speak to you next time.
We'll see you next time.